What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And they've finally given us the news for New Year's, and it's crazy because we had the teaser go out yesterday. I made a community post about it, and it's legit what happened, honestly. Just everything in that teaser post actually did hint towards what the New Year's legends were going to be. And in this video, we're going to go through all the info that we have right now. It's currently just gone past quarter past news time, and we have the first little bit of information for Yamato, which we are going to be talking about in this video right here. I have not read a single thing about this unit, so we're going to go through this together at once. So, Yamato is going to be a dual unit, and it looks like she's int and dex. That is kind of interesting. She's int dex, and she's a dual form very similar to Blackbeard, it looks like. What I mean by that is where it's like the dual unit is one unit, but different forms of the same unit. So Yamato, with her dual form, switches into her hybrid form. That's kind of fascinating, actually. Okay, so the interesting thing here is that she's also got EX Super, she's Final Tap, and normal Yamato is Dex, hybrid Yamato is Int. Okay, so dual units are interesting. The last couple of dual units that they've done for big celebrations, I haven't been a big fan of, and I can see it already that this is going to be interesting because her effect in her special requires you to be in her dual unit to be better, which means that her switch effect is going to be important. So we'll break it all down. So remember, this captain ability that you're seeing here is the dual captain. The captain ability that you see in game obviously is going to be a little bit different because they start off in their solo form. So let's get into it. So Slasher and Striker is an interesting combo here. So Yamato reduces crew's special charge time by 1 at the start of the quest, reduces her own special charge time by 5 turns at the start of battle 3, and reduces the crew's special charge time by a further 1 turn at the start of battle 3. Okay, so just, charging specials, it's pretty good stuff so far. Boosts Striker and Slasher characters' HP by 1.5 and 6 times attack. Boosts other characters by 5x. So big boost to Slasher Striker, 5x boost to everyone else, so much lower boost, but it does still give a boost to everyone, which is a positive. Makes Striker and Slasher characters Dex, Quick, Recovery, and Tandem slots beneficial. Reduces Bind by 10 turns, as a captain is amazing. If a Striker or Slasher crewmate uses a special, reduces this character's switch effect by 1, so very similar to what we had with Law and Kid. So this type of effect is very annoying because it's actually very annoying to build this up in content because you specifically have to build with characters that are Striker or Slasher that use their specials before Yamato uses her special because you want to use her special in her dual form. We'll see how this plays out, but I'm just saying that a lot of the times when they've done this kind of thing in the past, it hasn't been good. So hopefully this is a bit better. One thing I will say is that the 10-turn reduction of Bind, a lot of characters that had this effect before didn't really have amazing utility in their captain, so I like that they have this. And then it also adds 10% of crew's attack, or 10% attack to crew's next final tap. Can be launched up to 14 times, 5 times in a single turn. What is going on here? Can be launched up to 14 times, 5 times in a single turn. Both effects will count towards the total regardless of the crew status. Similar effects can stack up to 200%. So this is very similar to what we had with Momo, where Momo had like a whole effect where when things occurred, you'd get a big buff to the next character that performs Final Tap, and this seems to be the same here. So if a Striker or Slasher uses a special, you get -1 to this character's switch effect, and you get 10% bonus attack to your next Final Tap. Okay. At the start of the next final battle, applies a Final Tap attack boost based on the accumulated value. So it is an accumulated value. It says if the Final Tap attack boost effect activates before the final battle effect accumulates. Yeah, so the thing about this is that this is like a buff that gets stored on your team. So if the enemy removes your accumulated values, this does diminish this captain effect. But it's basically all boiling down to using Striker Slashers, cooldown reduction, matching slots, HP boost, bind utility, which is nice, and then keep using Striker Slasher cooldowns to not only reduce her switch effect, which is important because you want to use her special when she's in dual form, and then you've got this Final Tap attack boost thing occurring here. So far, captain ability, it's not wowing me, it's just okay, but that can all change depending on the rest of her kit. So her crewmate ability 1, Striker Slasher get 150 base attack boost, which is whatever. Let's move on to this special because we've got it right here. Launching the special as a double character has a stronger effect, so we can't see what the normal version looks like, but if you use her in a dual form, you get this. 150 times her attack in typeless damage to all enemies, ignoring all defensive effects and defense, which is pretty good. Reduces all enemies' rainbow shield by 7, that's good. Applies 20% Striker Slasher resistance for 1 turn. boosts color affinity of Striker Slasher by 2.75 for 1 turn. And if enemy has increased damage taken status when you launch the special, you increase damage taken, increases all enemies' increased damage taken effect to 2.25, and further increase crew's color affinity by 0.25. Okay, and it says this effect also applies to type effect boost from special, applies increased damage taken status to all enemies 1.75 times for 1 turn, ignoring immunity to other status effects. Okay, so what it boils down to, it's a damage dealing special, which is good, and it goes through base defense, which doesn't occur a lot. 7 turn removal of Rainbow Shield. You get a little bit of resistance down for Striker Slasher. Color affinity boost. 2.75 color affinity is good. Like, that's like about what we see normally. And if the enemy has increased damage taken, you buff the increased damage taken to 2.25 multiplier. And you also buff color affinity. But then it says that if you don't have increased damage taken, then you will still inflict 1.75 through immunity. Meaning if you have double Yamato, you could actually get the inflicted, 1.75 buffer to 2.25. So far, I mean, it's solid. It's solid. Of course, this is the dual unit special. We haven't seen what the single unit looks like when you launch that special, okay? So the Crewmate ability 2 reduces this character's cooldown by 1 every time a striker or a slasher uses a special. That's pretty good. And one thing that we can see here, that the switch effect requires 9 switches. It's going to be very, very annoying to activate, but let's have a look and see what this switch effect does. Completely removes Despair and Slotbind completely on herself. Makes sense as a captain. I'm not a big fan of Despair reduction with a switch effect because, you know, it can get a little clunky because a lot of the times Despair doesn't occur to one unit. It usually occurs to both characters, so this could be clunky. Changes her own slot through block into Wano and boosts the attack of the next final tap by 5%. So it's just stacking on with her captain ability. And then if you use the super switch, completely removes Despair Slotbind. You get the Wano slot, changes Jason's slots into tandem, and then you get the 10% bonus for the final tap character. You also get 20% Striker Slasher resistance for 1 turn. So that stacks with her special becoming a 40% resistance down, which is incredibly strong. And then you fuse into the combined form for 3 turns, which makes sense. So far, it's fine, honestly. Like, it's not wowing me. I think it's pretty good. She's gonna be a good character. Let's keep going, though. We've got a lot of effects to go through. So, to use the EX Super, when the character becomes the dual unit with Super Switch, and any of the 3 characters are on the crew, oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. It says, except for support characters, double characters count as 1, can be launched when character is a crewmate. That's big, so you can use it when it's a crewmate. So you got one of the Straw Hats, Odin, Momo, Kinemon, Izo, Raizo, Okiku, Ashura Doji, Dogstorm, Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, Kyoshiro, and Ace. The list is good. This is going to be an annoying effect. It better be good. EX Super. Reduces Crew's cooldown by 2. 70% damage reduction. Boosts attack of next final tap by 20%. Locks Crew slots for 1 turn. Changes Striker characters into Super Striker, Dex into Super Dex. I feel like for the amount of effort that you have to go through in order to get this, I'm not really the biggest fan of this. Remember that if you use this character as a crewmate, you're not going to have the buffed effect where you can reduce this character's swap gauge, because this only reduces her special charge time with her crewmate ability. So this means that getting this naturally as a crewmate is not going to be good unless if there's captain swap mechanics happening, which there may be. We haven't read the other characters yet. I'm not a big fan of the EX Super. I think that this should have been a little bit better. Like, the fact that it does damage reduction, I would have hoped that it would have given % damage reduction based attack boost. Pretty disappointed at that, actually. Final tap, okay. So the final tap, you have to beat the final battle and 3 of the characters on the crew. And this one is only restricted to Straw Hats and Odin. So that is very restrictive. And the effect itself changes her own slot into Wano through block. Boosts character's base attack by 700. Can stack with other effects from special. Boost crew's attack based on the 200% of the damage reduction effect applied to the crew. Really? Wait, 200% damage reduction? What's going on here? What's happening here? If the crew has a 70% damage reduction, boost attack by 2.4 times for 1 turn. I guess, okay, so this is a damage reduction based attack boost in the final tap. But this is, remember, it's final tap. It's only for this character on that last tap. So they get the Wano slot, they get a base attack boost. Obviously, you get a bunch of buffs from her captain and her special and her switch effect buffing the final tap character. And then you get a 2.4 bonus. Mathematically, I have absolutely no idea. My face cam is covering it a little bit. I can show you guys there. I have no idea mathematically how good this effect is. Because it's just hard to really gauge how good a 2.4 attack boost is in a final tap. It's definitely nowhere near as good as Gear 5. I can tell you that for certain. All the effects here seem... It seems convoluted, right? I'm not really the biggest fan of this unit. I just don't like these dual units that are designed to use their specials in their dual form and then getting their dual form via their switch effect, because it means that their special is inherently worse when you use them as a crewmate, because they don't have any ways to get more special charge time to their switch gauge when they're a crewmate. So if you use them as a crewmate, you're getting an inherent disadvantage. Of course, I have a feeling there's probably going to be captain swapping in this batch. Probably. I think that would make sense. All the resistance stuff is cool, the utility stuff is cool, but we have to see what the character's special looks like in her solo form and see how that goes. And also, what is her captain ability in her solo form? It's probably still going to be pretty good, all things considered. I think the EX super effect is pretty bad. -2 cooldown is good. The damage reduction obviously pairs well with her final tap, but the final tap only really helps Yamato. It doesn't really help the rest of your crew. And it does lock slots. I guess locking slots is cool. This character doesn't have any way to guarantee slots, so that is relying on other characters to do that. Guaranteeing the increased damage taken. Like, I feel like this feels like a supporter character that's gonna really work well with the other characters in this batch. But outside of it, yeah, this character's good, but it's honestly not wowing me as much as I thought it was going to be. That's a little disappointing. I think this character's, like, fine. This character's perfectly good. Is there PvP stuff as well? The PvP stuff is probably going to be busted as hell. Remember, she is a dual unit, so she's not going to be classified as a color. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. So she is a defense style unit, striker slasher. Her special, provoke on herself, defense level 10. Target one enemy with high HP for an 80% reduction. Target 2 enemies with high special CT for 100% chance of special bind for 10 seconds. I think it's an okay special. For 33 CT, it's just okay. It's just okay. And then her buff is for her rumble abilities for Dex and Quick, so I guess I'm kind of colorblind. The other effect here, she's a quick and Dex character. I'm colorblind, sorry. Dex and Quick. Gives HP level 5, crit level 5, and then special CT at level 3, and then slashes get defense and speed up level 6. I don't think this is that great, honestly. Again, she's not an attacker, she's a defense style unit, but the fact that she's a dual unit means that she doesn't classify herself as any of these colors, which really hurts her in the long run. And then she does have GP. You have to receive 54k, targets team for a shield level 6 for 10 seconds, attack up level 10, striker and slasher class teammates get a 4x counter stance. That's actually really cool. And then all enemies get attack speed level 8 down and defense level 6. And then her buff is for Dex, Quick, and Striker and Slasher. I don't think she's that good in Rumble either. She seems just okay. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. I think this Yamato is just fine. Again, we haven't seen the rest of the batch yet, and that could really improve how good this unit is going to be. But if the rest of the batch is solely focused on like buffing final taps, that's really gonna suck and make it a little bit less hype. But I think the fact that we have like a Yamato that can transform to her other form, I think that's a pretty cool concept. I'm not really the biggest fan of the design of the unit though, but we'll have to wait and see how things progress moving forward. That's going to wrap it up for me though. We have more information coming, obviously, with all of the rest of the characters that are going to be coming today, so expect a lot of videos. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and let me know your thoughts and opinions about Yamato down below in the comment section for the New Year's Sugo-Fest with the brand new Legend Yamato. I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but then again, I'm not really the biggest fan of dual units to begin with. But anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.